So this morning's talk title is Spirit is Genderless. So we'll just establish that and move on. It is also has no economic status. It has no educational status. It's not part of the 1% or the 99%. It is the 100%. It doesn't care. It's not divided by ethnicity or race or skin color or subculture or culture. It is all of that. And this morning I'm really moved to hopefully bring us all back to, or for some of us maybe for the first time, an awareness and experience that there's only one, and we're all it. Just like grass is grass, and every blade of grass appears to be separate, they're not. They're all connected by the same root system, they're connected by the same soil, they're connected by the same earth, they're all happening within the same quantum field. They're all happening within the same body of the infinite. As are we. Just like the cells in your toenail are just as connected as the cells in your hair to your body. We are each those cells in the one body. Every cell has a purpose. Every cell is intentional by divinity itself, which created it. And I'm noticing as our social spacing progresses, and as our normal moving about the planet continues to be different than the way we might want it to be, the stress is beginning to show up. And people are beginning to act from that stress. And some of it is behavior that is less than desirable to be around or to witness. Been very much aware of a tremendous increase of nastiness on Facebook about the absence of unhoused people in the area. For so long we have wanted them to be cared for and to be housed. And now they are, albeit under an emergency order, they're still being cared for and housed. And yet there's a significant number of people who are now vilifying the solution because their tax dollars are taking care of people that they don't want to take care of. And I would invite us all to consider that once we let go of something, it's no longer ours. That when I pay my taxes, the money no longer belongs to me. That when I give a gift, the money no longer belongs to me. And perhaps we can begin use this time that we have to examine what's really happening with us. Are we really measuring our value by our exterior or by our interior? Are we really understanding that we are the divine in form? And so is everybody else. No matter how they show up, no matter what their political preference or affiliation is, no matter what their worldview is, no matter what their behavior is. Every expression of creation is equal in value. Equal in value. And so if you're looking at some other expression as less valuable than you, stop it. And if you're looking at yourself as less valuable than some other expression of creation, stop it. There's nothing that you can do to make yourself less valuable, and nothing you can do to make yourself more valuable. Because our value was assigned at creation by the source from which we're created. That is our divinity that we never left. Our new spiritual leader, Reverend Dr. Edward Villian. My microphone is dying, so I'll switch gears. He did a Facebook Live earlier this week, and he read this writing by Ernest Holmes. The friend that is within you. Just take these words in. You have a friend within you who is closer than your shadow. This friend anticipates your every desire, knows your every need, and governs your every act. This friend is the God within your own soul. The animating presence projecting your personality, which is a unique individualization of the living Spirit. I'm going to stop there for a brief pause. We are individualized expressions. We are not individual. We are never separate from anything or anyone, but rather we are individualized expressions created in its image in multiplicity, which means the divine itself is every image. And our habit is to continuously recreate the divine in our image, to argue for our human limitations. And I invite you this morning to just take in the consideration that perhaps in our human tendency to anthropomorphize God, we're inaccurate and mistaken. And he continues. This friend within you is infinite, since it is a personification of God. It is not limited by previous experience, which you may have had, by present conditions or passing situations. It has no inherited tendencies of evil, lack, or limitation. It has never been caught in the mesh of circumstance. It is at all times radiant, free, and happy. That is your truth. That is who you are. Because each of us is that in form. This is our essence. This friend is our internal beingness. To your intellect, this invisible friend may seem to be someone else, not your real self. But such is not the case. Some have believed that this friend within you is a mediator between you and creative spirit. Others have believed it to be the reincarnation or the rebirth of your previous self, while still others have sincerely believed it to be some discarnate soul. But you are not to accept such beliefs, for the real person within you is a direct personification of the universal spirit. It is your inner, absolute, and perfect self. The friend within you is different from all other persons. It is united with all. There is some part of you which reaches into the nature of others, irresistibly drawing them to you and drawing you to them, binding all together in one complete unity. Right now, you are one with all persons, all places, all events. The friend within you lives in a state of poise. It is above fear. It is beyond hurt. It is sufficient unto itself. So let's pause there. Are you getting how magnificent you are? Are you getting the very power, the very essence that you marvel at and are in awe of in nature, in those people that you revere the most, is you. It's you that you see. The friend within you is continuously looking after your well-being. It always wishes you to be happy, to be well, to be radiant. Being the very fountain of your life, this friend is a luminous presence, ever more emerging from pure spirit, ever more expanding your consciousness. It is the high counselor, the eternal guide. It is your intellect, the essence of its understanding, the nicety of its calculation, the appreciation of its temperament. There can be no greater unity than exists between you and this inner friend. It spreads the table before you in the wilderness of human thought. Let me repeat that one. It spreads the table before you in the wilderness of human thought. That image is so profound to me. Because the wilderness is that unexplored territory of awe and wonder. And perhaps in our humanness, our most underutilized resource. And perhaps we are being given an opportunity to access, to explore that wilderness of human thought. Its cup of joy runneth over. It laughs at disaster, triumphs over human failure, and mocks the grave. When this present experience shall be rolled up like a scroll, it will pass on to new and greater experiences. But today, it is here. Trust it today. And you may trust it for all of the tomorrows yet to come. Thus, your tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow will be but an expansion of your endless today. Your personality is an outpicturing of the impressions which you have received from this inner friend, this deep personality, this radiant and divine presence whose life is light, whose consciousness is peace, whose presence is power. You are an incarnation of this one, this presence, and this power. And that's some powerful stuff right there. Your personality is an outpicturing of the impressions which you have received from this inner friend. It doesn't mean that your personality is an outpicturing of everything that is available to you. It's telling us that it's an outpicturing of what we have been willing to receive. And if we are willing to receive more, then we will show up as more of what we actually are. This is just another way of saying what Holmes says so many different ways, is that the divine can only do for you what it can't do through you. And I submit to you this morning as you, that you are the divine in form, and the only thing that limits each of us from fully being that in a radically, humanly seeming insane manifestation is our unwillingness to know more deeply who we are. To argue for our limitations rather than stepping into the discomfort of the unknown to be more than we knew we could be. He finishes with this. It may be difficult for you to believe that there is such a friend, but it is there at the very center of your being, directing your thought and causing you to triumph over every defeat. For it is an unconquerable hero. This one who keeps silent within you lifts your consciousness to the realization that you are forever protected, forever safe, forever perfect. Let's take this into prayer. How good it is to know that wherever I am in the company of the infinite, the one, the ever-present allness of life. Because it is all there is. So wherever I am, it must be knowing itself, being itself, expressing itself as the infinite oneness of life. And what is true of me is true of all. This one, this infinite, ever-present allness is my life. It is the life of every physical expression. So all that the divine is, lives, moves, and has its being as its creation. It can be no other way. And so the perfection, the infinite knowledge, the wisdom, the abundance, the perfect health must be inherent in its creation. The knowledge, the wisdom of all is that expressing, making itself known first in the mind through those divine nudges, through those curiosities, and then by the yes of the soul to follow that activity into manifestation. To be more than we know we can be. To expand into that wilderness of thought. To dare to live in that uncharted territory. To expand our territory. We say yes, over and over again, in every moment of divine discontent calling us into more. We say yes. Yes, I'll go there. Yes, I'll be that. Yes, I'll reveal more of me. Yes. And so, as the gratitude wells up within me, I have moved to gratitude, moved to that faith that knows that it knows because it knows itself. And I stand in that authority. And it is on the agency of divinity itself as my being that I release my word into the activity of creation, into divine law that has already made it so. Nothing more to do. I let it go. I let it be. And I invite you, right where you are, all over, to breathe in with me and to make this your own as we say together. And so it is.